Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This video is a full tutorial of BigCommerce for beginners. So if you're looking to build your first online store using BigCommerce, this should be the tutorial for you. So we'll be going through absolutely everything you need to know, and I'll put timestamps down below in the description in case you have any specific needs that as you're going through this with me in the video, you can slow things down, you can rewind, or you can go down, check out the timestamps, and jump to different sections as you need. Now, one thing I want to talk about with BigCommerce first is so many people want to build an online store, and by default, they just go with Shopify. And so if you're watching this video, I assume you already chose BigCommerce. If you didn't, I do recommend considering it, at least between Shopify and BigCommerce and WooCommerce. There's so many different options. And we actually have some comparisons. I'll link them down below, some blog articles and some upcoming videos. So if you want to see those, check those out now. But basically, BigCommerce is still pretty popular. There's a lot of big brands that use that. So for example, if you guys are familiar with Woolrich, like the clothing company, they use it. Also, Skull Candy uses it. And there are just a lot of big brands that use it. So you don't have to be, it's not some one-off that's a knockoff of Shopify. It's actually a legitimate website builder that a lot of people do use. And it's good for specific things. It also has excellent uptime of 99.99%, I believe. I think there's 2 nines at the end there. And so because of that, your website is almost always going to be up, which means you're not going to lose customers from web pages that are not loading for them. So with that being said, guys, let's jump into this tutorial. Let's start off by going down to the top of this description. I'll have a link right there. Click on that link or open it in a new tab so you can follow along with this tutorial and do everything I'm doing as we build your store together. All right, so here we are over on my laptop right now, and the first thing we want to do is copy the link from the top of the description or go to santrelmedia.com/BigCommerce right there. It's not actually going to go to our website. It'll forward you to the correct location, so we all start at the same place. And as you'll see here, going back to BigCommerce's homepage, like I said before, some of the big brands that you already are probably aware of are using BigCommerce. So Ben & Jerry's uses it, Skull Candy, Woolrich, there's a lot of big brands that use it, and they have very successful websites. So we can go and check those out later on in the video, but let's go and get ours going right now. So the first thing we want to do is go up to the Get Started right there. You can also click Start Free Trial, but let's go and get started right now. And we will get a free trial here. It's very easy to do. And it should be 15 days first, and then it also says 3 months free when you purchase a plan. So just a nice way to actually get started there. So we're going to start off with our email. So Mike at santrelmedia.com. And we are going to continue to store details. We're going to name our store, and we can change at any time. So I'm just going to say Mike's store. Just a really boring plain name, and we'll just make a password. So I'm just going to make it whatever. Then it wants to know the size of our online business. Now, obviously everyone's at a different point, but if you're watching this video, there's a good chance that you haven't started or you're starting out and you're very new right now and you're just looking to get online. So it doesn't really make a huge difference. I'm just going to say we haven't started yet and continue on with the store. So now the store is being created. This actually takes a couple minutes. So then it takes us to this, and we can either go through this stuff. It's just asking us some questions. I'm going to just say, ask me those later just for the purposes of this video, but you can fill those out right now and it'll bring you to the next page. And what I really like about BigCommerce is actually that they do a pretty good job of separating the management of your store from the management of your website. So they're kind of two different things, and it makes things, in my opinion, a little bit easier where everything's a little more dynamic. So you can manage all your products and they just automatically show up in your store. And then you can go on the website and move things around if you want, but they can really be separated pretty well. So our homepage looks kind of intimidating. There's a lot going on here, but I promise I'll walk through everything you need to know. And by the end of the video, you'll understand everything that's going on here. So let's start off by just taking a look at what we have here. So first of all, we have across the top, it tells us how many days left are in our trial, what plan we have. We don't have a plan, so we can select one, or we could upgrade if we already have one. Over there, it just says your store. You have a notification right there, and the notification just tells you basically that you can get notifications up there. So we can go down then, and we have some options on the left side then. So right here, home is going to show us basically just a dashboard. This is what you expect. The top is going to tell us to upgrade. Obviously, that's what they want us to do. And while we do have a free trial, if you want to actually connect a domain and really get your store up and running, you will have to go and upgrade that. So we'll do that later on in the video. They have some starting things right here, some suggestions. And if you click on these, it'll just take you to different things on the left side. And I'll walk you through that later on in the video anyway. So you don't have to click on these right now. And as we do them, the green check marks will show up here. Then we do have customize your email. Nice that they walk you through that right here. If you want to set up a G Suite, so if it's like mikestore.com, you could be purchasing at mikestore.com or customer service at mikestore.com. So G Suite is a really powerful tool that you can manage it within Gmail. So you just sign in the Gmail on your phone, on your laptop, whatever you want to do. And it's not a Gmail address. It's actually your address for this. Then we can go down here, and there's just like a lot of other stuff that I recommend going through this. It's a nice dashboard. It shows you some analytics down there. And for the most part, home is going to be useful, but you're not really doing as much here. It really is just going to direct you in other areas. We can go to View Store at the top. It'll open it in a new tab and show us what our store currently looks like. And from absolutely nothing yet, just from, going in there and just telling them what our business name is, they already set up a website for us right here. And it's just a basic one that is the template that they chose. Let's say we don't necessarily like this, but as I was saying before, that's how BigCommerce makes it so easy. Like if you were okay with this and you said, you know what, I'll just change the colors in the pictures, then you could basically have a full store set up just from basically already. You just have to put your products in. So now let's go back and actually start going down the left side and start building our store right now. So looking through these, the first things that we actually want to do are go on down to products. So orders, I'll get to that later on in the video, but essentially that'll show you the outline of who ordered stuff. You can add orders, export them, and do stuff like that. Now going to products, this is where it starts to get important. So let's say right now, the products that it gave us by default with this template are going to be just a whole bunch of random, it looks like kitchen appliances right there, maybe coffee making things. I'm not quite sure exactly what these are. Maybe they're just decorations, but we don't necessarily want any of those. So let's go and add another product. To add one, we could either go down here to add product or we can click add right there. So two different ways you can do that. Let's go down and add, let's just add whatever product we want. I have a couple pictures saved of just some outdoor stuff. Maybe we're selling some outdoor clothing. So we're just going to say outdoor jacket. Outdoor jacket, and then the SKU, so you can name this whatever you want. Is really they can do whatever you want. I usually use numbers for stores, but it really doesn't matter what you choose to do. Then here, physical or digital product, you do have options there. That is nice. Some people are selling music online or maybe software, stuff like that. So physical, digital, cool, you can do that. For physical products, that's what I'll be showing you in this one, but it really shouldn't be that different overall. The price, let's just say this is $26. The brand, if you have a brand, you can do that, or you can just leave it blank if you want. So I'm not going to actually add a brand, but if we had sub-brands for our store, you could easily do that. As far as weight goes, this is really going to be more for shipping purposes. So let's just say I have no idea. Let's just say 20 ounces or something. Then go down, and they do have categories right here. These categories are the ones that came in by default. So like I was showing you before, the default products were categorized into like bath, garden, and stuff like that. You can delete these categories later if you really don't like those. So you could add them to a shop all category. Maybe you want to add a new category and say clothing. Let's call this one a new category, clothing. New category. And so this will help on your store that, you can have different subcategories and very easily have like carousels showing different slideshows of different category products. So as we go down, you see this stuff is all on the left side here. As we go down, it's going to kind of highlight a different one blue. So now I went to description as we go down and go to images next. So it is a cool layout where you can jump down to whatever you want here. Or what I usually do is just, scroll down and do everything one at a time. So now we want to add in a description for this. You can really type whatever you want. You can add some like basic different text formatting, some images, some links, stuff like that. So for the purposes of this video, we're just going to say this is a warm jacket. Right. So obviously you want to populate that more. So when customers go to your website, they can actually go. And so like right here, for example, if we go to, these are the categories I was telling you. So if you go to kitchen, that's going to show you a category of products. And if you go and click on one of those, it's cool that they show you like to compare, add to cart, stuff like that. But the description is going to be right there. So that's where it's going to pop up in this template. Of course, we can change this as well. But for most of them, it's going to show up somewhere around there. So that's probably about how long you want your description to be. You don't want to leave it too short and you don't want to make it like too ridiculously long, depending on what you're selling. So just to give you an idea right there, that's how long it should be. This is obviously too short. As we go down, we definitely have to add images. So you could add them from a URL if you're using some drop shipping products, or you can go and upload the images. And that's what we're going to do right now. All right, so let's say we have these two products right here, and I'm just going to use a t-shirt. I thought I had a picture of a sweatshirt. I guess not, but we're just going to use this anyway. It doesn't matter. Let's change the product name to outdoor t-shirt. How about that? Outdoor t-shirt. That makes no sense, but we're just going to do that. So that's how you'll be adding a picture. I recommend adding more pictures, but you can add some alt text to the pictures. So front view of t-shirt right there. And we can choose, if you have multiple, you can choose which one is going to be the thumbnail, meaning the primary image for this product. And you can add more right there. You can also add some videos. I don't have any videos up just yet, but I do recommend if you have any, videos do help quite a bit. Then down here, again, some more stuff if you want to add some MPNs or really whatever else you want. That's what I'm saying. So BigCommerce right here has a lot of options, and you can really go in depth when you're listing products. So it could be sold from big companies. You could be a retail store selling other companies' products. You can add really whatever you want on here, and it really tracks everything very, very well. So you don't have to fill all these out, but if you have them, you can go ahead and do that. And with pricing, again, some really powerful tools. When we go to advanced pricing, you can look at the cost for you to buy, the MSRP. You can add a sale price. You can add a discount right there. So let's go, and actually we can add tiers as well. So if we want to add tiers, you can say when somebody buys 2, give them a 20% discount. So let's go and add 20% discount. And so that'll be the price when they buy 2 of them. So I think that's a really cool idea that you can have some discounts when people buy. You'll have some MOQs, some minimum order quantities, especially if you're selling things a little bit more wholesale. That's a really nice thing to do, where you could say, hey, if you buy 1,000, it's going to be cheaper. Buy 10,000, it's cheaper. And that's something that you can do on here that you don't see on many other e-commerce platforms. As we get on, we can track the inventory. I mean, for a small store, that's probably a good idea. Actually, really, for any store, that's a good idea unless you have third-party software, so it really depends. But I typically do track it at the very least just to see what's going on. So you can have based on the product level or on the variant level. So if you have variations, so down here, variations right here. So let's say with this t-shirt, maybe we have some other options. So let's say we have different colors. So let's go and say color. You can type in whatever you want there, and you can choose how it's going to show up. So it can show up as a rectangle list, as radio buttons, as a drop-down. Let's do a drop-down for now. And let's say we have red, green, and blue. Let's add white as well. And by default, we want everyone to be getting, that's going to be white. White's going to be the first one that shows up. So we'll add white by default. You can also slide and rearrange these. So in the dropdown, you can have different ones. For whatever reason, if you want to do that, it is an option you can do. So you can also add other variants like size. So let's go and add size right now. Actually, that's also a suggestion. But you could, like I said, you could type in whatever you want. Let's just say instead fit. Let's say fit is one. And we want this to be radio buttons, so we can have slim fit. So slim. Or we can add another one and we could say loose, and we can add another one and say, I don't know, plus or something, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what you'd call your fits, but then for this, we could say that the default is going to be a loose fit right there. So then we're going to save the variants for this one as well, and that'll have some different product variants right there. And you can see down here, you can change the prices for those if you really wanted to. Right now, I'm not going to change any of those prices, but let's just say maybe it costs a lot of money to make a blue plus, so we can make this one like $28, and it will change the price for that. So again, tons and tons of options here. Add SKUs for all of these. For most companies, that's probably what you will be wanting to do. And as we go down, you can go and make some customization. So if you want to add a modifier, let's say it's a shirt maybe for a sports team and you want to add your number. You can say sports number. And then it's a text field. They can type in their number and you'll print their number on the back of the shirt. So we can do that and we'll create that option right there. And so that's going to have a text value. Obviously, that's making it more complicated for your orders, but maybe it's something that you want to do. It could be really anything. It doesn't have to be to customize. It could be like add a special message in the box, or is this a gift? It could be whatever you want in a text field, or really any other customization that you want right there. Then as we get down here, the storefront details, this is going to be a little bit more for the SEO side. So search keywords is really, actually this is more for the user interface side. So for this, you could say when somebody's looking for it, you want them to look up t-shirt, sorry, cannot spell right now, shirt. We could say white t-shirt, all the different spellings people could be using. And we could just do that. So warranty information, you can have availability text. So you could say usually ships really quickly right there. Condition, if you want to show that. I usually don't show that. I only ship new things on my stores anyway. But let's just say, if you had some used stuff or some refurbished stuff, you could easily show that just as well right there. Then down here, some custom fields. And so you could add some custom fields. It's really going to be like right here is a great example. So it could be like the wine vintage 1998, whatever. If you're talking about stuff like that and you just want to add that, you could do that right there. Easier way for people to, it'll appear on the product page, so they don't have to go and check out the description necessarily to see that. So let's go and click the minus so we don't actually have that. At the end, if we try to save it and we don't have, so if we have an empty field like that, it'll notify us and tell us that there was a problem right there. So down here, we can automatically display related products. I recommend doing that. It's usually a pretty powerful tool there. As far as dimensions and weight, this is going to be, again, in the shipping section right here. So for shipping purposes, you probably want to type all these in. I'm not going to do that right now because let's just say it is free shipping. Makes things pretty easy. Purchasability, you can say it can be purchased online. Depending, if you're like a physical store, you could say maybe it's not purchased online. Maybe they order it and they come in and pick it up. Or maybe, like there are different options. So depending on what you're doing, this should make sense for you. Gift wrapping, search engine optimization. This is going to be when it shows up in Google. So when someone looks up your product or whatever, you're going to see that this is the page title. Actually, let's just go right now and look up t-shirt. So if we look up a t-shirt right now, you'll see that it will show up in Google. Basically, this is your title right there. This is your meta description. And so you'll see right here that we have title, meta description, and the URL is going to be whatever it is. So it's going to be like mybigcommercewebsite.com/outdoor-shirt. Or obviously it's going to be whatever your website is. So mikestore.com or something, right? So populate that. I'm not going to do that right now for this. And then that's pretty much all we want to talk about when we're making a new product. So we're going to click save right there. That seemed like a lot, but it actually, honestly, it's not that hard, and they do walk you through it pretty well, and we're basically getting through this very quickly now. So as I said right there, any empty field, so because I did say track inventory and I did not list the inventory, it's going to get mad at me right now and say we can't save this because you have empty fields. So stock level, let's say we have 200 of these, and we want them to notify us when we have 25 left so we can order more. So let's go and click save, see if we have any other errors. It looks like we don't. And we have that product ready to go now. So now what we want to do is actually go back and manage some of the other products. So now if we click on view, this is where most of your kind of catalog management is going to happen. So if you have different products you don't want, so if we have maybe these three, we just don't want them in the store anymore, you can delete those. Obviously other actions as well, so you can bulk edit them, stuff like that. We're going to just delete them right now. Obviously, you should be deleting all of these in the end, all the ones that are not your products. So make sure you do that before you make your site live. And then over here, you can do some things like go right there and hide it from shoppers, or you can toggle whether or not it appears as a featured product. So featured up there, you'll see across the top, you can easily sort out and say, let's look at what's out of stock. Let's look at what was free shipping, and it'll show you the products that are listed for each of those. So we have 2 products that are free shipping right now. And that's how you can just easily look at different categories of your products. So going down on the left side here, we have product categories. I talked about that before, how there was like the home, the bath one, stuff like that. Let's say we don't actually want bath, home, garden, stuff like that. So we can get rid of all of those, and let's just go and delete those. You can also create a category. I showed you earlier how to create one when we added the clothing one right there. But they will be showing up on the top of your site if you want them to, right up there. So let's see if it actually changed that yet. I'm not sure if it did. It did. So clothing right there is one of our categories. Now, let's say as we go down, we have some product options right there, product filtering, reviews. Of course, you can go and check out the reviews of your products as well. And those are just some example reviews right there. And other than that, click through these, but I'm not going to dive into that too much more in this video. So that's how you do products, product management right there. A huge part of your store, obviously, and it's very, very important that you do that correctly and really populate that as much as you can. Then if we go down to customers and orders right here, 2 different things that you'll be doing later on, so not necessarily right now, not something we'll do in this video, but I just want to make you guys aware that you'll see the customers that you have right here. So if anybody from calls your customer service and says, hey, I made an order and this is my customer name, whatever, you can have that right there. So you can send follow-up emails, ask how their products are later, stuff like that. And then orders is where you're going to be dealing with like shipments, tracking numbers. You can do some look at your orders and add them manually right here. You can go and mark them as shipped. You can tell people that if there's a refund, you can go and find the order number, stuff like that for managing your orders. So that should be pretty self-explanatory. But as we go down, this is where we really start to build the store experience now. So we have the products, we have the categories, we know where to find the orders and the customers, but the actual website itself up here, maybe we don't like how that looks right now. So what we want to do is go to storefront. And this is where we can really manage our entire website. So right here, it came with one. Cornerstone Light is the All right, so and then as you can see here, there are tons and tons of themes to choose from, and you can sort them by featured themes. You can go to free or paid, so I'm just going to do free for the purposes of this video. And as we go down, you see lots of categories or industry, as I call it, on the left side, so you can sort through those if you want. But I'm just going to go down. It doesn't really matter what they're showing right there. So if they're showing something about, like, I don't know, fitness tracking or something, it doesn't necessarily have to do that. The pictures and the colors can all change. You really want to look at what the header and the top of the website looks like. And we currently have Cornerstone, as I showed you before. Let's go down and find something. Maybe we really like, let's just say we like this one, the Vault. We like the Vault one. So you can go and click on it. There are 3 different styles you can choose from. So the 3 styles would be Vault Cool, Bright, or Natural. Kind of going to be mostly color scheme differences there, but there are some subtle differences with the rest of the website. Let's go and get this theme right now, or you can preview it right there. You can preview with your store. That's a really cool feature that BigCommerce has where you don't have to apply it to know what it's going to actually look like. So you can go and preview it, and it'll show you really exactly what you'd expect it to show you. So we're going to close out of that and make sure we go back over to this tab right here. We're going to add the theme, and we're going to apply it right now to our website so that we have it. Let's see, make sure we got that. So if we go to My Themes, it should show up and show as the active theme right there, unless I accidentally clicked out. So it looks like I accidentally clicked out of that one. So the Vault right now, let's go and apply this theme. And we're going to choose which one we actually want. So let's go with the cool one right now. So we're going to go and apply, and that will suddenly become our theme up in the top. There we go. So now it actually is right there. And let's close out of some of these unused tabs at the top. So there we go. So we have our theme right now. We can go down to our theme marketplace right there, as I showed you. The logo is the next thing you want to be adding before we go in and edit the website itself. And so you can have a text logo right here and change the font, the color, stuff like that, or use an image. An image usually is what I would recommend, since you probably are not going to match exactly the right font color and size and font look right there. But then as we go down, the favicon right there is really going to be your browser icon. So as you see right here, BigCommerce, it's kind of hard to see with that. Let's go to Amazon. Amazon.com, you'll see that Amazon has a little A right up there on the top, and so that is going to be your favicon. You want to make sure that you have that, so when somebody looks across their tabs, they see that and they don't just see a little gray earth or something, right? So you want to make sure it's looking professional by including that up there. As we go down, you have your home page carousel. I'll show you where that is in a minute, but when you go to your home page, basically on the top, you can have a series of slides, and you can choose what the slides have, what they look like. You can edit them and stuff like that. We have social media links. Definitely make sure you're adding these. These should be, depending on your theme, in the header, the footer, or somewhere else in your website. So add these so people can go and, you're linking to those, and it's also a little more connected. So Google also knows if you're linking to your socials, and on your socials you're linking to your site, then Google can associate the traffic from the socials with the traffic on your website. You boost your SEO just a little bit right there. But also, obviously, you're trying to grow some other platforms here, so definitely add those. Script Manager, web pages, blog, you're not really going to be touching on too much of those. Blog, maybe you will be actually if you want to add some blog posts. This is where you would do it in Storefront right here. And it could be a good way to gain a little bit more traffic to your website, especially if you're selling something like, maybe like sewing machines, for example. You can make a couple articles about how to set up a sewing machine, or maybe talk about the old sewing machines or best sewing machines to buy, stuff like that, that if people are going there, they may already be interested in sewing machines, and they could also go and buy one from you then. And it might be a great way to gain more traffic, and also you're going to rank higher in Google as you start to gain more traffic and more reputability with Google right there. So adding a blog post, very easy to do. Just click on plus right there and start typing whatever you want. Image Manager, I'm not going to get into that. Email templates and gift certificates, not really going to touch on those right now. Those are not really introductory things, but if you want, you can go and figure those out. They are pretty straightforward. Adding a gift certificate template is pretty easy to do. So that's pretty much everything in Storefront right there. As we go back, the next thing down here is going to be, we should be editing our website now. So if we go back up to My Themes right here, it'll show you which one we're using, and we can actually go and customize this right now. So if we click on Customize, it'll bring us into our site right here. You can add things, you can remove things, move things anywhere on the screen, and it will be making your website look better. Now, you don't necessarily have to, but obviously you should be, like I said before, in that other thing I showed you where you can change the carousel images, definitely do that. That's going to be a big change right there. The featured products, as we showed you before, you can choose which ones are going to be featured, and they're going to be popping up right here, and the rest of your products show up down here. So this is really just based on the theme, but let's just say, for example, if we want something else, so drag and drop widgets right there. You see that everywhere. That doesn't actually show up on your website. It shows up only in the editor right here. So if we go over to Page Builder on the left side, we can add some different things in here. So maybe if we want to add, right here, we want to add a layout. So layout is going to be like a section with multiple sections within that. So click and drag that to right there. And this layout we can have maybe 3 columns if we want. So we want 3 different things right there. So now let's go back to Page Builder, and within here, we can add maybe an image right to this one. and it's going to just put a blank image right there for now, some stock image. Then we can add maybe a button to the middle. Let's say we want a button right there, or we can add a button below. Let's add a button below these actually. So we'll add a button down there. Maybe it's a blog article, something like that. It could be really anything you want right here. Then we want to add a product in the middle, maybe. I'm just showing you guys some examples. Obviously, it's not going to look good with what I'm doing in a minute right here, but you can also add HTML if you want to add some specific code right there, or you can go and maybe add a video over on this one. So the product is going to show up like this. You can edit that and choose what actually is going to show up. So if we click on product right there, the elements that are showing up, you can hide them. You could say, yeah, let's show the rating down there if it's a good rating, or you could show a button to go and add it to your cart. And then right here, going back to the button, you can easily add what the button's linking to, if it's left aligned, right aligned, in the middle, the padding of the button, the text, the style. So you can change a lot about these things. And that's basically how you'll be doing the editing. For the most part, if you're using BigCommerce to make your store, I recommend doing a little bit of this, but most of your website should pretty much be built from really the themes. They'll be doing most of the work for you, and it's pretty easy then to just add maybe a couple things like this here and there if you really wanted to. It's not even that necessary for most websites, like I said. So as we go back, you can see there are different things you can add, dividers, spacers, stuff like that. It's all really pretty straightforward with that stuff. But if we go back up here to the top, theme styles, we'll be changing the overall theme right here. So the colors, the text, stuff like that. So if we go to styles right here, there's bright, there's cool, like I showed you before. So if you choose one and you're like, hey, you know what, I actually really like the natural one better, you can go and do that right here very, very easily. Going down to global, this is where you change like the background colors and a lot of stuff like that. So all the different colors here. If you want to change it to your own custom theme based on your logo colors, your business colors, really easy to do. And they're using the HTML colors right there. I think that's HTML, maybe Hexa, whatever. Anyway, as we go down, you can see your mobile site right here, and you can have your header and your footer. Let's go and edit those. That'll be the color right there. So if you want to have some different colors for like the search bar and things like that, easy to change that. Most of this, like I said, as you go through these, I'm not going to go through everything. It's mostly just changing colors right here. But you can have your products. So what are like, stuff like that. What's going to show next to your products? How many categories are you going to show on a page? How many products on a page? And you can change some basic stuff like that. Icons, checkout page, payment button. And that's really what you'll be changing right here in the top in the theme styles. As we go down, you have layers right there, which is going to be basically the overall layout of your website. So if you really like the featured product to be above this one, I mean, we just added that right there. You could have added it below it, but we can easily go right here and find like this column right here. We can go and click and drag that up. So we can go right there and we'll click and drag, we'll drag this down so that featured products is right above it. So featured products is now above it. It looks like it went a little too far. So let's click and drag this one. There we go. Okay, so there we go. So now we have featured products, and then we have this little banner right below there. And so you can rearrange the layout of your theme if you really want to. You can also change like the columns right here. So let's just say maybe I don't want them to be split evenly like this. Maybe you want to move them over. For some reason, you want them to look like that. It obviously looks terrible right now. But let's just say maybe that's what you want to do. Maybe for some reason you're just interested in having a different size like that, and you can easily move things around. You can also change the background of this little strip or the border of that as well. And so that's all going to be really in the layer section right here. It goes back up to layout, though, is what you'll be doing. As we go down, you can see the View Live Store. It'll open in a new tab to show you what it's actually looking like right now. So you can see featured products right there. You can see the other things. Our banner is not there right now because we didn't actually save this yet. So we'll go up and click Save. And then it will be showing up on that. So definitely make sure you're clicking Save, guys, so you don't lose your work there. Something else that's really important here is to check out across the top we have our different viewers. So I mean, I say this in really all of my tutorials, and I teach a lot of people this, that really a lot of people think that websites are all viewed on desktop. For some reason, that's like when you're making a website, you're using your laptop to make it, and it's really easy to forget that a lot of your traffic is actually going to come from phones. So you can easily check out what it's looking like on tablets. I honestly don't really think as many people use tablets as maybe there used to be. But we can go to mobile preview right here, and this is what's going to be super, super important. So make sure that you're going through here and checking it out. And if you set up like this little strip right here, you might look at it and say, oh, that actually looks really bad on a phone. And so you might want to come in here and make sure that you clean it up and everything looks good on mobile. So definitely a very important thing you're doing there. Don't just edit on desktop preview right there. But otherwise, that's really everything we'll be doing in the page builder right here, and in the overall theme editor is really what they called it. So we can go back to BigCommerce by clicking on the logo on the top left right there. that'll bring us back to where we were, to our home page, and we can easily continue on editing. So that's everything in storefront. Obviously very important. That's how you customize your store and make it look great. So now's probably a good time to go and check out like skullcandy.com. Someone else that uses BigCommerce, and you can see right here, obviously the theme that I was showing you didn't really look that great, but they have a lot going on here. It definitely looks a lot better, a lot more appealing, a lot of color, a lot of products and things like that actually are more dynamic as you scroll down. So as you go down, you can see that they do have their website set up very, very professionally here. So there's a lot more you can do with BigCommerce than I'm showing you with this theme right here. This theme, honestly, it looks okay, but obviously this is not looking anything like this. So it's going to take some time to really kind of find the right theme, customize it a little bit. Maybe you want a paid theme if you're really interested in that. The free themes generally don't look quite as good as the paid themes for obvious reasons there. But as we go down, some of the really other powerful things you can do here, one of them is marketing. Marketing is going to be a huge part of your business if you're selling things. You can have banners. So if we go over to Skull Candy, you'll see the banner like right here, free shipping on orders over $100, 2-year warranty. So you can add those banners right there that'll pop up on the top of the website whenever they're visiting. We can have promotions. So you can have some different sales right there. So maybe we want to add a coupon, for example. And you can make this is something I like to do. I like to create these and integrate them with MailChimp then. MailChimp's usually what I use when I'm trying to do email marketing. And what I would do is create a coupon that gives them maybe free shipping or 25% off. And then I'll use that and I'll send that in an email on MailChimp that sends them the email on their birthday. So maybe you send everyone like a birthday email, and when they sign up for your email list on MailChimp, they can actually put in their birthday. And when using it with this, you can actually connect those. And it's a cool way to get people on your website, get some more purchases, and also gain kind of a better rapport with your viewers and your audience there. So as we go down, we do also have abandoned cart notifications. Very useful if somebody has an account with you and they, for some reason, put something in their cart. Maybe they forgot to actually, go through and purchase it. Maybe they're trying to buy some roller skates from you, and you sell roller skates, and for some reason something came up. Their mom called, they answered the phone, and then they just got distracted. You can maybe send them a follow-up email and say, hey, you put this in your cart and you forgot to buy it. Like maybe you want to do that. And for some people, they might say, oh yeah, I was going to buy that. And so you just recovered a customer that otherwise would have been lost because they got distracted for a pretty benign reason. They just had to answer the phone call, right? So that's just one of the examples of where you'd want to use abandoned cart notifications. Google customer reviews is if you want that, you can have reviews, obviously right here, upgrade your plan to do that. So actually, speaking of that, let's go and select a plan right now. There are some different plans you can choose, and they really scale pretty big. So if you are going to be a full-blown business entity, somebody like with hundreds of products, an enterprise as they call it, you can call them, and it's going to be a little bit more expensive, obviously, but you're going to have a whole team right there working with you. The other thing, so standard is going to be, these are all giving you the first 3 months for free. Who knows what enterprise does? They're not showing you right there. It's more like a negotiated thing, I think. But right here, you can see that $30 a month, and it does some basic stuff, $80 or $300, so a pretty wide range. And I recommend before you just go and choose the cheapest one, you definitely should go down here and make sure you're reading through this. So the first big thing, none of them have additional transaction fees. That's a big benefit there. A lot of other website builders cannot say the same. So I do like seeing that so that you can actually have your own store and it's not going to end up like an eBay or something like that. As we go down here, you can see that they all have the first, 5 or 6 of these things right here, but abandoned cart recovery is not available with the standard plan. It is with the plus. Likewise, you do have things like this right here. Custom SSL is available for Pro if you want to do that. SSL is going to be obviously very important for your store. This is custom SSL, so they tell you a little more about that. So if you already have one that you purchased, you could do that. And as we go down, you have Google customer reviews is only available with the higher one. So read through this, check out which one you want. And at the bottom, also online sales per year, so up to 50,000, 180,000, 400,000. So definitely keep an eye on that to make sure that you're not anywhere near your limits right there. So basically, that is how you'll be choosing the plan. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to stick with the free trial. So, like I said, this is not actually a real store I'm building right now. But you definitely should be upgrading right now so you can connect a domain to this. And I'll show you where to do that in a second. But that's how you'll be doing that. Also, coupon codes. So like I said before, I think I just touched on that. You can add those if you want for email marketing. As you can see down here, email marketing, gift certificates, and sell on eBay. I'm not really going to touch on those right now. Gift certificates could be good. Again, maybe if you want to send people $5, like a $5 thing, instead of a coupon, you could just give them a gift certificate for your website maybe on their birthday in an email campaign. That would be a great way to get some people on your website a little bit more. As we go down, we have analytics right there. Not going to dive into this one, but this is really once you start to get some more page visits and people abandoning their cart, buying things, purchasing funnels. You'll see all of that kind of right here, and they do have a really good job. I think BigCommerce does a great job of displaying all of this in a really logical way. I like the graph right here. I like how they show you pretty much everything you want to see in the overview. And as you go down, you can really dive into that and get some much more in-depth insights into how well your store or your website is performing. As we go down to Channel Manager, this is going to be if you're selling on other channels. So if you're selling through eBay or through Instagram, or if you're doing it through Pinterest, Facebook, whatever you're doing, you can set these up. And it's something that I do recommend. It's for when you're first starting your store, you may not necessarily need to, but having the large audience on Amazon, for example, or Facebook could definitely be very beneficial for you. And at the very least, setting it up with Instagram is also good. So you can integrate that if you have an Instagram account. You can literally tag your products in the Instagram post, and people can buy directly there and start purchasing your stuff from your Instagram page itself. As we get on, there are some different apps you can get. So if there's anything that you wish your website did, so maybe if you just wish you had some things about shipping, or let's go down here and just view what they call the essentials. They have a lot of different apps. Here's some good examples that should help you understand what I mean. So one of them is like a live chat. And one of them would be maybe like Google Shopping, or you can go down and have different things that, some tax things right there, some in-stock notifications, some push notifications, like a lot of different options here that you can add to your website. Very easy to integrate these. You kind of just click. So this is a free one right here. Let's just say we want this one. It's free. We can go and easily add it to our store. So we can just get this app. You can contact a partner if you want and learn more about it. But I'm not actually going to do that right now because it's going to have a sign into BigCommerce through this. But that's how you'd be adding different apps. So there are a lot of apps, and I recommend you go through here. And some of them, obviously, like a chat would be a nice thing to have if you are able to reply to the chats as often as possible. Otherwise, if people send chats and you're not actually replying, that could be problematic. So definitely add these if you're able to. And they definitely can do a really good, they can really advance your store capabilities a lot. As we go to store setup here, you'll see your profile. This is going to be like your currency, what kind of payments you accept, where you're located, stuff like that. Definitely important to populate all of this. Currencies is really straightforward. Payments is going to be how you want to accept it. So you can accept like PayPal on here. You can accept credit cards through, I think they use Stripe. It's Chase right there, Chase integrated payments. So you have a lot of different options right here, and you can set these up. You definitely want to set these up. You have to pretty much before you do anything. And once you have these set up, the next thing I recommend you do actually is once you have your plan, once you have this set up, once you have your domain, we go over to your store and actually go and purchase something from yourself. And because there's 0% transaction, you shouldn't be losing money here, and you can just refund yourself later. But you want to make sure that everything goes through correctly. You can see yourself as a customer. You can also go and get the right emails, and you'll actually see all the right pages. You don't hit any errors. You don't have any problems with the cart. You want to make sure that you're actually going through this and testing it out for yourself before other customers go and find any problems for you on your site. You don't want that. You don't want to be losing customers that way. Then as we get on here, you have some store settings right here. We're going to say down for maintenance, or it can be open. Sure, store is open right now. And so some basic stuff like that. I'm not really going to get into this too much. This is more advanced stuff. Shipping is something that we should be looking at, however, because shipping is going to be, you want to set this up and configure it. So let's go and set up our shipping right now. And so you can say we're shipping from this, wherever we are, and then it'll set up the services. So you can choose if you want to ship with UPS or USPS. And I chose free shipping on this to make things much easier. But if you're trying to calculate shipping, it definitely is easy that you want to make sure you're setting all of this up. Tax, very similar thing here. You want to set up where you're located, and you want to make sure that you're charging the right sales tax and everything so you don't end up losing money later or getting in trouble later. So right here is one of the apps that I was talking about. You can definitely get this app right here integrated with BigCommerce, and it should take care of your tax stuff like that. Point of sale and accounting, I'm really not going to get too much into those right now either. And as we go down, I know I keep saying this, guys, but there's just so much you can do with BigCommerce. BigCommerce is really an advanced program that, is great for beginners, but as you start to scale, you can see how this is really a very powerful platform that really anybody could use and grow your business without any limits at all. So QuickBooks is a really cool thing that you can actually integrate that as well with your accounting. So just another app right there. That was in the accounting right there. So as we go back down, let's go past store setup to advanced settings. So they say these are advanced settings, but honestly, these are all very important and probably really fundamental settings, I think. You don't have to change these. That's probably why they're considered advanced. But checkout, for example, you can go down and actually modify the checkout experience for people. So, for example, if you want them to access items in their shopping cart across multiple devices, check on that right there. And so you go through this. I definitely recommend, maybe if you want like a reCaptcha thing to make sure that you don't have bots going through your checkout and somehow abusing it, clogging it, making problems for you, you can go and do that, and you're going to have to actually enable that and set it up. But I recommend going through this. Same thing with inventory, order notifications, returns, gift wrapping, comments. Like, there's a lot of stuff here that you definitely want to make sure you're going through these and just kind of optimizing it for your website. Then lastly, if we go to server settings, the real big one here is getting your domain name. I talked about this earlier, and it should be pretty easy to set up. So you can go and upgrade your store, like I said. I'm not doing that in this video, so I apologize. I will not be walking you through how to add a domain, but this is where you will be doing it. So down here in server settings, server settings, domains, that's how you add your domain, which is really the final thing you want to be doing before your website can be live. Now, also adding an SSL is a big thing. So SSL, for those of you who don't know, is going back to Skull Candy right here, this little lock icon right there. So if you click on it, connection is secure. It means that it's encrypted, means it's safer. If someone's using a credit card on your website, you really pretty much have to have encryption. Nobody's going to add their credit card to a website that's not encrypted for obvious reasons. And I really don't even visit websites that are not encrypted because it just shows that they're not really safe, they're not secure, and they don't really pay attention to a lot of modern practices with a website. Being, SSL encryption is a big one. So you want to make sure that you have an SSL certificate as well. So I'm going to close out of all these tabs right now. It's not letting me have one right now because I don't actually have the site upgraded right now. But as we go down, that's basically everything we will be doing. And if we go down, you can change your password in your account settings right there, update your profile. So if you want to have other people signing in, so different users right here, you can go and add some other users, different contributors maybe. If you have somebody else that you don't want them to be an owner, you want them to just go and edit maybe your products or just reply to comments, something like that. You can easily do that right in there as a new user, or just add another owner if you really want, if you have two owners to the website. So guys, that is most of what you need to know. Obviously, there will be some more things, but if we go up here, the last thing you do is once you published it, you can go and view your store, and you'll see that your store is all ready to go. So this is the new template we chose. You can go up here and see like shop, for example. They'll have the categories right there. I showed you how to make different categories, how to show different brands. We can go and find different pages about shipping and returns. And the shipping and returns pages, you can populate them with whatever you need to. So obviously, like privacy policy is a good one. Maybe tracking cookies is a good one if you have Facebook pixels. Maybe shipping and returns, warranty, stuff like that. Add those pages. And of course, the logo on the top will be linking back to home. All right, guys, so that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover in this tutorial. Of course, that is not everything you'll need to know ever, but it should be enough to help you get started and get your store out there. And once your store is out there, you can start iterating and trying different things and messing around and learning some more on your own. But I really hope this helped to give you the groundwork for how to use BigCommerce to make your online store. So if you liked this video, guys, please remember to go down and comment or like or leave some questions down there if you have any. It is a great section to talk to each other and see what other people are doing, and I'll try my best to answer as many questions as possible down there. But with that being said, guys, thank you all for watching. Good luck with your store. I'll see you next time.